Hear my heart, my word falls into the river of love, chapter 64. When Herschel came to her mansion, Herchan was 5 years old. That day, it was as if something momentous had occurred. Aside from the vague memories of his mother's shrieks and tantrums or his father's icy blockade, he could very clearly remember his father leading in that older brother. He was very good looking, more so than any child in the kindergarten. He stood to the side silently the whole time, as if what was happening in the room had nothing to do with him. He did, however, look coldly at the father. Herchan curiously stepped closer to him and called out with a childish voice, "Gaga?" Footnote 1. Gaga means older brother. His father had just introduced the boy and had said this was his older brother, Herschel. Herschel glanced at him before looking away, his faintly knitted brows betraying his disgust. At the time, Herchan did not understand though. At his kindergarten, Herchan had a classmate called, well, he forgot his name a long time ago. For the time being, his name is Dashu, okay? Dashu had an older brother, but he was only older by a few minutes. The two of them were in the same class and even sat together. Every time Dashu charged into a disaster at the kindergarten, his older brother would shoulder the burden on his behalf. If the teacher assigned homework that he had not finished, he would grab his older brother's homework and put his name on it instead. Dashu liked to eat small pastries at kindergarten, especially fruitcake, and only picked out the fruit to eat. If he had finished eating but wasn't satisfied, he would steal from his older brother. Every time his older brother was only able to eat the leftover dry bland cake. Herchan felt that Dashu was too much. If it was him, he would have already beaten up Dashu. Dashu's older brother, however, never scolded him and was always good to him. Therefore, Herchan held hidden envy in his heart. Having an older brother was really good. He also wanted an older brother like this. He didn't expect the heavens to have truly heard his birthday wish and actually give him an older brother. Moreover, this older brother was better looking than Dashu's older brother by 10-fold. No, 100-fold. The day after Herschel arrived, he resolved to bring Herschel with him to kindergarten. Herchan alone heard his thoughts and did not know whether to laugh or cry as he explained to him, "Silly Chenna, Gaga is 2 years older than you. He cannot go to kindergarten. He'll go to primary school." Primary school. Herchan had heard these words from his kindergarten teacher, so he raised his hand and said, "Then I will go to primary school too." Kindergarten or primary school, it did not matter. It was okay as long as he could go to school with Herschel. Herchan alone overruled him again. "You still haven't graduated from kindergarten. No primary school wants you." Hearing that no primary school wanted him, Herchan felt wronged quickly. "I don't care. I will go to school with Gaga. Dashu goes to school with his Gaga." Herchan knew Herchan did not clearly understood this issue and could only promise him, "After Chenna graduates kindergarten next year, Father will send you to study at the same primary school as Gaga, okay?" Herchan pondered for a moment before reluctantly agreeing, "That's okay, pinky swear." Herchan beamed and hooked his pinky finger. Herschel had only been with them for a couple of days, yet Herchan and Zhao Yingfang's relationship had already become very strained. The two adults, however, did not reveal this in front of Herchan. And Herchan, who was obsessed with his Gaga, also did not know that his older brother had been sent to the hospital for a paternity test. Herchan initially held different thoughts. He felt that doing something like this was an insult to Herschel's mother, but Zhao Yingfang was not willing to concede even a bit. Therefore, she and Herchan discussed conditions. If the test results indicated that Herschel was indeed his biological son, then she could not drive Herschel out of her mansion in the future. The test results were self-evident, and Zhao Yingfang did not say anything further. The look she gave Herschel, however, became increasingly hateful. All this remained unknown to Herchan back then. His greatest worry in his life at that moment was his older brother ignoring him. He held his face in his hands and sat down and sighed. He was so worried that he did not finish the small pastries the kindergarten gave out. To his side, Suying caught his sigh and asked of her own accord, "What's up with you? Is the cake not yummy?" Herchan replied, "My older brother ignores me. Look at how good Dashu has it with his older brother. Why does my older brother ignore me? I'm cuter than Dashu." Suying asked him confused, "When did you get an older brother?" 2 days ago." Suying thought for a moment before asking, "Was your older brother also picked up from the rubbish bin?" That's what her mother had told her. Herchan angrily glared at her. "My older brother was not picked up from a rubbish bin. He's very good looking. He fell from the heavens." "Wow." Suying sighed. "Is it fun up in heaven?" "Don't know. I haven't been there yet. He might not think we have fun here, so he might be unhappy." "Maybe." This child provided Hudson with new ideas. His parents had bought him a lot of toys, a whole room full. Gaga would definitely like it. As a result, when the students were dismissed at the end of the day, he was itching to return home and grab a pile of toys to bring to Herschel. Because he was transferring schools, Herschel was currently unable to attend school, so Herschel knocked onto his door with all his might. He knocked for a very long time. Possibly because Herschel couldn't bear the noise anymore, he finally opened the door. Seeing the same good-looking yet cold Herschel felt elated. Gaga, I bought a lot of toys. Do you want to play? Herschel looked down at the toys Herschel hugged to his chest and emotionally said, I don't. Although Herschel hit a snag, he was not discouraged at all, because Gaga finally spoke to him. Furthermore, his voice was very pleasant to hear. You don't like these toys? Then I'll go get different ones. I still have a lot. No need, Herschel called out to Herschel, who was preparing to run back to his room. Looking him in the eye, Herschel stated, I don't like you. Herschel. From being pampered by others at birth to being the current young master of her mansion, he had never heard the three words don't like you from others. He was very hurt. If it was someone else, according to his young master's temperament, they definitely would have gotten a face full of toys. But Herschel was so good looking. He did not retaliate. Pa! Herschel closed the door, not in the least reluctant to do so. Yet he was faced with Herschel's exceedingly high spirit and bravery, as Herschel bought different toys every day and knocked on his door. At last, Herschel's patience ran dry, and he simply grabbed the Transformer's toy and broke it into pieces. Wah! Herschel stared at the broken toy pieces on the ground, sobbing as he stood there. This was his favorite toy. Normally he hated others touching it, but now Herschel had broken it completely. Herschel, like the first time, shut the door without even the slightest reluctance. While crying, Herschel gathered the broken Transformers pieces. He went to his mother. Mama, I bought my favorite toy to Gaga, but he ignored me. He sought out Xiao Fang for comfort, but he had not expected Xiao Fang to be furious with him for the first time upon his words. He is not your older brother. You are not allowed to call him Gaga. Herschel was stunned by her bellow of rage and continued crying, snot and tears covering his face, extremely miserable. After that day, he no longer followed Herschel around and no longer brought his toys with him to knock on Herschel's door. He finally understood why Daoju's older brother was so good to him and why his older brother was never like that to him. It was simply because he was not his older brother. Xiao Fang did not like Herschel. In addition, his dislike could hardly be concealed. Even if Herschel was very young, he was also aware of this. She called Herschel a bastard and said that Herschel's mother was a mistress. These words, Herschel heard it all. He began imitating his mother's attitude toward Herschel. Although Herschel still completely ignored him, this type of feeling was more obvious than his previously good relationship with him. Once he had called Herschel's mother a mistress. In all honesty, he didn't actually know what a mistress was, but he heard his mother call her that. He had not expected in 1,000 years for the stoic Herschel to explode in a split second. He had grabbed Herschel's collar and coldly asked him, I am older than you by 2 years. Whose mother is the mistress? Can you see? That day, Herschel cried again. This time, he was crying because he was scared. Next day, when he went to kindergarten, he had asked his teacher what a mistress was. The teacher, very flustered, looked at him. Why are you asking this question? Herschel replied, Why not? The teacher patted his head, smiled, and said, A child shouldn't ask such a question. Herschel's kindergarten was an aristocratic kindergarten. The teachers were all selected very carefully and were the considerate little jackets of the family heads. Footnote 2. Considerate little jacket is a figurative saying that normally exemplifies the close mother-daughter relationship often seen in Chinese culture, because the daughter will grow up and become a mother herself, therefore learning to experience a mother's frame of mind. In this case, Chester is implying that the teachers are closer to the parents. Therefore, Hajin heard about the matter of Hajin asking the teacher what a mistress was before the students were dismissed for the day. Well, Hajin learned the word mistress was not a mystery at all. The only one in the mansion who kept saying bastard and mistress all day long was Xiao Fang. He quarreled with Xiao Fang massively because of this. This time, they did not avoid Hajin either. The two of them fought viciously, and it was ultimately Hajin's reaping that ended the fight. Very quickly, Hajin would be entering primary school. Hajin Long thought about registering him into Herschel's school, but Xiao Fang said that Hajin didn't want to go there. Hajin Long was a bit surprised, so he went to ask Hajin, Chenna, you don't want to go to primary school with Gaga? Xiao Fang heard the words Gaga and exploded like a firecracker. Chenna does not have a Gaga. The bastard is suited to act as his older brother. Hajin Long wrinkled his brows and stood to look at her. How many times have I told you, don't speak like that in front of a child? You're corrupting Chenna. Ah, I'm corrupting him? How come you aren't saying this is a debt you owe from back then? Her Jinglong pursed his lips. He did not want to fight with her. He kneeled down and asked her chin as gently as possible. Chenna, tell your father. Do you want to start at the same primary school as Gaga? Her chin very slowly shook his head. Don't want. Her Jinglong was shocked and asked him again, why don't you want to? Before, didn't Chenna make a fuss about wanting to go to school with Gaga? Her chin dropped his head and did not reply. Before his eyes was a faint image of he and his father Mickey swearing and agreeing that after he graduated kindergarten, he would definitely send him to the same primary school as Gaga. Some wishes, however, cannot be realized after all is said and done. After snow, how come it feels infinitely tyrannical? Smile cried. Tomorrow's update, Lindsay and Tang Zhen's side story. The side story is still unfinished. The success list has 20,000 plus characters. I only finished half. Smile cried. Expressing thanks to sponsors. End of chapter 64. Hear my heart, my word falls into the river of love.